The more you watch this video, the more your specific person is going to be thinking about you. Because in this video, I'm going to be talking about what I would argue is one of the most important things when you are manifesting, and basically one of the only things you actually have to worry about. And so the more you watch this video, or the more that you actually understand this concept, the easier your manifestation is actually going to become. And the idea is something called conditioned consciousness. So if you are a die-hard Neville Goddard fan, you know exactly what this is, but I'll explain it for absolutely everyone because we definitely need to review it in order to use it right now and have your specific person start to think of you more. Because it may seem strange to our logical mind, but your specific person, as well as your entire reality, is altering based on your current conception of yourself. And there never is a wait time in order to make this happen. If right now you assume a different state, your reality will change and start to move differently as a result of that state. And so your conditioned consciousness, very basically, is just going to be the state that you feel as you are right now. So for instance, for me, it would be Kyle. I would be in a conditioned consciousness of being in the state of Kyle. I would say I make videos like this and I help people manifest their specific person. Your conditioned consciousness is basically everything that you would describe as being a detail about you and the life you live right now. So you could take a moment and even think about the conditioned consciousness that you are currently in. What is your name? What is your address? What do you do for fun? What do you do in your free time? Who are your friends? Who are your family, right? All of that would actually all be summed up to create the current conditioned consciousness that you are in this moment. And the reason it's called conditioned consciousness is because pure consciousness is everything. And you've conditioned yourself to think that you are this person right here and right now. But in essence, you are just consciousness, right? You are drawing from an unlimited source that is infinite. Right? Your higher self, your God state can be absolutely everything. That's why in manifestation, you can manifest everything and why you've basically already manifested everything you could ever want. That's why there technically is no time frame in between you and you getting your specific person or you and any other manifestation that you could ever want because your higher self, your God state has already done it. And an easy way to think of that is just to think of your God state is a God, right? You would say God could never not do something. God could never not be something. God has to be everything at every single time. And so if that's the power that you are drawing from and you're able to pick and choose what you embody here, that's your conditioned consciousness. But at the same time, you can't ever be separated from this unlimited abundance. It's physically and spiritually impossible. That's why sometimes when we focus on self-concept, it's a hard idea to conceptualize only because you're working on your self-worth, but you could never be unworthy. It's impossible to be unworthy. But anyway, when we think of conditioned consciousness and how this actually relates to having your specific person think of you more, remember, as soon as this is understood, you'll realize that you are an actor or an actress that is just drawing and picking a character to play. And with the actor or actress, like I believe I've done in another video, I talk about this metaphor because I absolutely love it. The actor or actress never has to alter the character into a different character. They just act as the different character immediately. They just immediately assume a different role. And so right now, you are basically, or that is the key to quantum leaping and manifesting what you want right now. Your reality cannot behave any differently than from the state that you are currently in. And so if you are acting right now as the individual who is single, and I mean acting as in portraying the character of someone who is single, then you can just choose a different character that is coming from the unlimited consciousness, and you can condition that to be your current state. So conditioning just means that we're doing something over and over again in order to further ingrain that within our mind. So the only reason that you feel you are you is because you've been you every single day. right? You've assumed this state. It's like being this actor or actress and going on stage and picking to play the same exact role every single day. Sometimes, when offered a different role or having the thought of playing something different, it becomes uncomfortable and we start to think of it as very strange or very weird. Now, it's not outside of your realm to do. Any actor or actress can play any particular role that they want, but it might feel uncomfortable, which leads you to just go back to your normal, everyday, automatic character that you're playing. But understanding that that's not what you actually have to do is going to be the key to altering your state, acting as someone different, and then seeing your specific person show up differently. I know it almost sounds too simple to be true, but that's exactly how it is. So I just wanted to clarify something as well with the actor or actress. Remember, they never change a character into a different character, they just assume a different role. So, in essence, if they were to play a character who shows up as a lawyer, and in the next scene they have to play a character that shows up as a teacher, they don't have to transition or change those characters into each other. They just play a different role. And sometimes, because I think this is one of the only things that you need to understand in manifestation to have a true impact, you're never changing your single state into a relationship state. You are choosing a different state. In the same way, think of the lawyer. If you were to take a lawyer and turn them into a teacher, or even more intensely, turn a lawyer into a pirate or something like that, or a fairy or whatever, in that essence, those seem very different from each other. The fact of a lawyer turning into a pirate is like a night and day effect, and you have to change a lot about the individual. But what if instead, as the actor or actress, you just chose to play a different role in that moment? So right now, instead of playing the single role, you play the role of being with your specific person or anything else that you want. When we understand it's just a choice as easy as that, we'll be able to choose it, and then you'll be able to understand your specific person and your reality can change right here and right now. There's actually nothing stopping this. And as you do this, your perception of everything is going to change. And this is actually another understanding of how you're able to go throughout your day embodying the state without feeling overly excited, overly ecstatic, because a lot of times that's what people think of as the end state. They think they have to be constantly happy, constantly excited, constantly feeling as if they already have it. But it's in a state that kind of goes around you, just like something that you would put in your pocket. If you took something, a coin, and you put it in your pocket, it would remain there whether you are conscious of it or not. And so that's the same thing when it comes to the state. And so as you begin to alter your state, your perception would change. Think of the example of the lawyer and the pirate. If you go throughout your day as a lawyer, how do you actually look at your reality, right? It would be very different than if you went throughout your day looking at your reality as a pirate. A pirate would be so would be so confused with how things are going. The everything would be so advanced to a pirate. They would go to a supermarket and maybe just steal everything in there because that's what a pirate does. But a lawyer would not do that. The way that they would perceive it as perceiving their job or perceiving how they interact with people would immediately be different. But that's the same thing with being single or being in a relationship with your specific person. There is no difference. Your perception will change. And the perception that you have in your reality is like a sense of being. And that sense of being is what actually creates. Think of it more internally of how a single person and someone in a relationship would actually view their reality. A single person may see more people on the street as being single. They might look at people in a relationship and view them in a negative way. They might see things in relation to Valentine's Day and seemingly immediately think of them as something negative. But instead, the individual that's in a relationship sees the exact opposite. They see people in a relationship everywhere. And when they do see people in a relationship, they relate to them. They assume and are happy for them. They see them as a reflection of themselves. And when they see things in relation to Valentine's Day, they're able to celebrate love rather than worry about it. And so the perception on your reality is more closely related to the sense of being than some ecstatic feeling that you have. Because think of that conditioned consciousness that you feel you are at this current moment, right? You feel you are fill in the blank. You are your name. And throughout the day, you don't feel ecstatic that your name is your name. You don't feel ecstatic or overly excited that your reality is the way it is. It just is that way, right? That's just the character that you're playing. And when you think of an actor or actress playing a character, let's say they're playing a pirate, in that case, they're also not overly ecstatic or overly empowered or emotional about the state that they're in. They just are. And so that's what manifesting actually is. And that's how your state of being is going to change your reality. And as always, I always want to include a success story that showcases just this. So here's a couple texts I received from someone I was working with. The first one's on the bottom because of the way the notifications work, but they wrote, "Hey Kyle, I hope you're doing good. Just a quick update. My specific person and I are doing good. He's starting to be more lovey with me and can't get enough of me." Then commented after with a picture that I can't show because it kind of shows where they're at. But he bought me these and delivered them to my job today. And we have been hanging out almost every day now. And then in the right, which I can't necessarily show because it's going to show exactly where they're at. And I don't want anyone to feel singled out by any of my success stories, but it shows a huge bouquet of flowers. And so this individual was working with this concept of moving and acting in a different state. Before this point, their specific person was not showing up as that individual. And I would even say kind of showing up as the opposite or in the middle. I don't want to go into too much detail, but there's third parties, there's distance, there's no contact, things like that were impacting their own manifestation. But by changing the role, changing how you're acting, changing your sense of being, and not acting as an action, but acting as in your character, you are going to see a result of this. This is why I titled this video, the more you watch this video, the more your specific person is going to be thinking about you. Because just by watching this video, you are going to understand, hopefully, and maybe you need to watch it again, that's okay, how easily it is to transition out of your current state or your current character and into the character of being with your specific person. Or for that matter, if that even feels kind of hard to do, you can actually do this for literally anything, right? You can transition into the character of wealth, transition into the character of happiness, of abundance, of literally anything that you want to choose. You can choose it right now. In the same way, an actor or actress is a perfect and flawless individual at this. But the only thing is they feel as if they're pretending, right? But in the moment, I bet they wouldn't feel as if they're pretending. But on stage, they feel this character, but they still understand that behind it all, they're actually the actor or actress. And that's the same thing with you. Behind this imagined state that you're in, behind this sense of being or who you feel you are, so this conditioned consciousness, you are the actor or actress that is fluid. That's your higher self. You can be anything. You hand yourself a script and you become that individual. That's you right now. And so you are not limited. There is no limitation that you feel as if you can have. That's why as well, when we think of circumstances in your reality that are working against you, remember, every single outcome imaginable is created and is already done by your higher self or your God state. So the idea of not being able to overcome a circumstance or having individual things occur as a result of your manifestation, all of those are possible. So there's a reality in which you're with your specific person effortlessly. You're with your specific person after struggle. You're with your specific person after a third party or any other in-between state that you can imagine. There is no limit to the infinite amount of ways in which your God state has already achieved it. So whatever state or opportunities or bridge of events that you are currently experiencing, they're all capable and within your imagination, but you're picking and choosing which state or which bridge or which outcome that you want to achieve. Now, I would say the quickest way is to not focus on the how or when and just act as that individual. Because when you act as that individual, your God state, your subconscious mind, your higher self is going to choose the quickest way to get you to that outcome, which is the same way. If you want to go to the airport, you take out your phone and you put in the GPS and it chooses immediately the quickest way to the airport or whatever destination you want. That's why we're never actually meant to worry about how or when. And so if we can understand this idea, everything will fall into place automatically and almost as if it's like magic, because manifestation is not magic. It is a result of your subconscious mind and your conscious, or not conscious, your subconscious way of thinking that is supplanted or implanted by your conscious mind. But when you understand that you are an actor or actress, it makes everything literally effortless. If you did have any questions, make sure to comment them down below, as well as I want you to comment an affirmation so you can manifest exactly what this person did in their success story, and just write, me and my specific person have been hanging out almost every day now. Because I mentioned this before, but I've found whenever I showcase a success story, people usually manifest things very similar to it. And it kind of works, I would imagine, like the 4-minute mile, meaning someone said you can't run a mile in under 4 minutes. And then as soon as someone ran a mile under 4 minutes, countless people within the next year were able to do it. So I think with these success stories, they showcase a possibility that you have within you right now to create with your specific person. And so comment that down below to really set it in stone. If you did have any questions that you didn't want to post publicly and wanted to send to me personally, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. As always, thank you so much for stopping by today. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing. And I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow. And make sure to rewatch this video if any part of it makes no sense. I know someone commented on one of my recent videos that I sometimes talk too fast, because I really like these ideas and I love sharing them. So in this video, I tried as hard as I could to slow it down, break it down so that it makes sense for everyone, because once this makes sense and once it clicks, it is going to immediately change your reality.